Good morning, everybody. Well, wherever you are, good afternoon for some in Florida. Welcome. We're going to take a look ahead today at the Walt Disney Studios live action films that were announced at the investors meeting of 2020 of the Walt Disney Company. They announced so many things. You're probably familiar. If you've been subscribed to us and follow us, you've seen me, Tony, and Alex right next to me on this way. We've been talking about Pixar and Walt Disney Studios animation. I know Mike has talked about Marvel, but now today we're looking at, or not, Mike has talked about Star Wars. Mac has talked about Marvel. Don't mix those up. Don't cross those streams. Yeah. Alex, how are you today?
I'm good. How about you?
I'm good. I'm surprised people aren't sick of me yet. I've been all day yesterday. You guys had to deal with me.
You're almost at the finish line. I think this is the last one, right?
I think so. And this one was kind of,
unless they pull up a 20th century show out of the ether, this is the last one.
I promise you, because you said that now, I'm going to get a message that says, hey, we want to do a 20th century film. So what were your thoughts on the live action projects as a whole that were announced?
I mean, as a whole, I'm excited. I'm one of the things that I was really excited about for Disney Plus, and that I've been thrilled with throughout the year plus that we've had it, is kind of a return to Disney making smaller films, not the huge big budget ones. And looks like that trend is continuing. They obviously announced some pretty big things for Disney Plus. I think some of the biggest, I would say, other than Lady and the Tramp, the live action movie, these are probably the biggest films we've had for Disney Plus that they've announced, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, it reminds me a lot of the old Magical World of Disney days, where it was kind of like a farm for new directing talent stuff.
Yeah.
So just a reminder, we are live. So if anybody has any questions or comments they want to say, feel free to throw it on there. To keep track of whenever we go live like that, it's always best to like, subscribe, ring that little bell. I don't have a prop. Sorry. Ding, 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 ding. And let's jump in. Right off the bat, they announced what kind of everybody knew was coming. I don't think it came as a shock to anybody, but Hocus Pocus 2.
Yeah, and it was funny because I had to be quiet during the whole thing because we were, everyone. But that was a moment where, I don't watch sports, but like I watch people watch sports and jump out of their chair and get really excited. And I'm always like, if the ball went to that side of the field, what's the big deal? When Hocus Pocus 2 came out, even though they didn't announce anything we didn't know about it, yep. I still jumped. Like I was like, oh my God, they're talking about it.
Yeah.
I follow Adam Shankman on Instagram because occasionally he'll just post like submitted another draft of Hocus Pocus 2 script today. He's also doing Disenchanted, which we'll talk about on its own.
Yep.
But I'm a huge Hocus Pocus fan, have been since 1993. I'm so excited that it's taken off in popularity over the years and more people love it. They did show a logo. That's all we got out of this. And they, as far as I know, haven't released it officially after that, but Good Morning America screenshotted it. So like everything I've seen has been screenshots. So
yeah, that's
our story.
That's why I don't have one.
That's fine. Cause I think this logo looks terrible. And I'm hoping the reason they didn't put it out is because somebody else looked at it and they were like, oh, we're not using that. We'll use it for the investor day, but that's not the real deal. Cause it's so swirly and weird. Like everything curls in a weird way.
I remember that.
Logo of the original Hocus Pocus film is perfect. Just make a 2 and put it next to that. Don't change the logo. I do not want.
They didn't really tell us much.
No.
It just says it's a spooky sequel. Adam Shankman directing.
Yeah, we know nothing about how the Sanderson sisters are coming back. They didn't even confirm casting.
That's what I was going to get to. Is do we know?
You know they're all on board. The other thing I would like to see is I know that Adam Shankman is directing, but I would like to see. Oh my god, I'm having such a huge brain fart on his name. The director of the original, who also did Newsies and High School Musical.
Oh my gosh. I had it and then it just went away. He also did High School Musical. You said that.
Right, exactly.
And Michael Jackson's This Is It.
But he should be involved in some way because he's still alive, still and
active too. Like he does stuff. Right. He's not retired.
Right. I don't necessarily need him to direct, but I would love to have him involved creatively so he can give his stamp of approval. Because I remember, I think it's canceled now. They haven't officially said, but when they announced the Disney Channel original movie remake of Hocus Pocus that was met with just fan outcry, on a red carpet, someone asked him about it, and he was like, I think it's a terrible idea. The girls want to make another one. Just do the sequel.
Kenny Ortega.
Kenny Ortega, thank you.
Yep.
But yeah.
But yes.
He should be like an EVP or something on Hopo 2.
Is that the official nickname for it?
That's what I'm calling it. You know, Disney shortens everything or acronyms it, and HP2 is stupid. So I feel like Hopo
sounds like a different franchise.
Yeah, I hope that's the working, like the secret project title.
Breaking news! You heard it here first. Laughing Place is announcing Hopo 2. That's what it's called.
If you ever want to make people angry at Disney World, by the way, shorten Grand Floridian to G-Flow.
With I'll go one more. The one that really drives me nuts: Disney's Art of Animation Resort. When people call it DAR. Or Philhar for Philhar Magic. Just say it at that point.
The stupidest one, because this takes no less time to say, is T-Land. If you measure like the milliseconds between Tomorrowland and T-Land, they're probably so close it doesn't matter.
G-Flow. I'm going back to Grand Flow bothers me too, but
yeah,
Philhar and Dar.
It sounds like a rapper, and if I was a rapper, I'd be G-Flow.
Really fancy one too.
I know, very posh.
Maybe all your albums would be a little overpriced for what they offer. Just because of the name G-Flow.
Yeah, it wouldn't be the 75-cent songs on iTunes. It'd be the
Hopo 2 coming at us. I didn't give us a date either. It just says it's coming.
Nope. It's just they're working on it. It's still in development. Has been for 30 years.
Almost, yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Now you talked about a reboot for Hocus Pocus 2, but like we said, they're all alive still and wanting to do it. Same kind of idea, but it is a strict reboot. 3 Men and a Baby, starring Zac Efron,
which
I 2022.
I have not seen the original 3 Men and a Baby and 3 Men and a Little Lady since VHS days. Like renting them from Blockbuster would be.
That's more about the same on that one too.
Yeah, but I remember enjoying it as a kid. Obviously, they're both on Disney Plus, so I want to go back and rewatch the originals. But I think this is cool. I mean, it's not the type of property you expected Disney to revisit at any point. So I think it's kind of cool that I wouldn't say they're scraping the bottom of a barrel with it. It was a big hit in its time. I just feel like it hasn't kept up like Sister Act has in terms of longevity. So I think it's cool to refresh it. I have no problems with the casting of Zac Efron, and I'm curious to see who else they fill in around him.
Yeah, because it's called 3 Men and a Baby, not 1 man and a baby.
Right.
That's life.
If I remember correctly, the premise of the original was like these 3 bachelors live together and are like best friends, and one of them finds out they're a dad, and the baby is like
something like that.
And suddenly they go from like wild bachelor lifestyle to being parents, and then the second one is like a couple years later that child is a little girl.
Yeah. It was Ted Danson, Steve Guttenberg, and Tom Selleck.
Yeah, Monica's boyfriend from the first season of Friends.
He was recurring though, wasn't he?
He was for like a season, and then he would come back for little cameos every once in a while.
Yeah, so I think again 3, and we only know about Zac Efron. So who are the other 2? And again, all we know is, hey, it's a remake with Zac Efron coming in 2022 for Disney Plus.
Yep.
So there's some time.
I look forward to it.
They also announced what was happening literally hours later. after the investors meeting. So a lot of people, including yourself, have seen it, I'm sure. The movie about the safety from Clemson. Safety.
I was lucky enough to have seen it before the Investor Day, but I really enjoyed it. Obviously, everyone can stream it now. Tonight, we are doing Laughing Place Movie Club on safety. So you can come back to YouTube and watch us for about 30 minutes, talk all about that film, take a deep dive. It's like a book club. You watch Safety, and then you come talk to us about it, and you can participate in the chat, and it's going to be fun.
I have not joined you guys for a movie club yet, but I will be there at the end of the month.
Oh, cool.
As we look at Soul. But and you're doing that tonight, I believe, as well as Kyle and Becca.
Yeah. It's going to be fun.
Keeping in the sports theme, though, let's expand on that a little bit, and we'll go to the Keenan Lowe project, also coming to Disney Plus. It's the story, and it's a real true story of a high school coach, according to this, who averted tragedy through compassion. With Dwayne Johnson and some others producing.
Now, this one sounds heavier than most of the Disney sports movies. I'm not a huge sports fan, but I have loved every single Disney sports film that they've done. Even like the golf movie, Greatest Game Ever Played, I thought was fantastic.
Is that the one with Shia LaBeouf?
With Shia LaBeouf, yeah. But so this one, it's a real life story of a coach who stops a school shooting.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. School shooting. So this one's pretty heavy in terms of its tone. So I'm optimistic. I have full trust in the producing team that has managed all of these movies, because there, in my opinion, hasn't been a dud of the Disney sports films of the aughts and beyond. So I'm looking forward to it, but this one sounds pretty heavy, pretty deep.
Yeah. That description I was reading was pretty vague, and you just explained why. So
yeah, I had to look it up because I had seen that description and I was like, what does this mean?
Yeah. That's actually something I'm actually kind of looking forward to that now. Jumping off of that, another sports series, this one focusing on an NBA VAP. I'm sorry, I knew I was going to mess that up. NBA MVP, Greek Freak, heads into production next year, also just for Disney Plus.
Yeah, this one's cool. They put out their casting requests because they're looking for unknown actors to play the lead character and his younger brother, who played for the Milwaukee Bucks. So I'm excited just because I grew up just south of Milwaukee. So that'll be cool.
Yeah, it says MVP Giannis, I'm going to say that right, lifted themselves out of poverty as undocumented immigrants living in Greece and then coming to play some ball.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of sports projects, but I think this is the last one. The Chris Paul Project, a biographical film in development for Disney Plus about NBA superstar Chris Paul.
Yep. I'm again assuming it's going to be good. I look forward to seeing it. They always do a great job. They pick stories that are human interest pieces that everyone can relate to, that are thrilling to watch.
I should have got Mac in on all the sports ones too. That's this guy. Yeah,
someone who knows.
Yes,
someone who hears the name and has a frame of reference.
There is nothing sports behind me. I can't tell you really about any of this. Sorry, everybody.
Flowers here. Vinyl Nations.
but we're gonna
popcorn packets, nutcrackers.
Jumping away from the sports projects that are coming pretty early on in next year here, just a few months. Flora and Ulysses.
Yeah, based on a popular children's book. And it's a girl and I think her squirrel who kind of like solve mysteries. So Timmy Failure was based on a popular children's book series as well. So I'm expecting something along the lines of Timmy Failure with a little more CGI sidekick because the polar bear wasn't in it as much as I think we all would have loved. But I thought Timmy Failure was great. I haven't read Flora and Ulysses, but this sounds fun.
Yeah, an avid comic book fan and self-avowed cynic who rescues a squirrel with unique superhero powers.
Yep.
Starring Matilda Lawler.
I do not.
I'm assuming he's an up-and-coming child star.
But yeah, I mean, Disney casting is always so well done.
Coming February 19th, 2021. And then we get into another title that is another reboot. This one, little different, Cheaper by the Dozen.
Mm-hmm. And is this one, if I'm not mistaken, is this a series or a film? It doesn't say, and I'm questioning that.
I was under the impression it was a film.
Okay.
Because it just says a reimagining.
Yeah.
By the producer of Blackish, Kenya Barris.
Yeah. But yeah, this will be interesting. I've obviously the original Cheaper by the Dozen from the 1960s is a true classic. I really enjoyed the Steve Martin, Bonnie Hunt reboot where every child star you knew in like the early 2000s was in it, including Superman, Tom Welling.
I was just going to say, I remember his name, but Superman, yeah.
And Hilary Duff, like they were like, who's hot right now? Let's get them.
All of them.
And there's, 12 kids. So, and they did a sequel to that with Eugene Levy, which was a lot of fun. That same family going on vacation. So I'm looking forward to seeing what comes of this.
Probably another sequel with a vacation.
Maybe.
It says it will air on Disney Plus, so maybe.
Yeah, that's what. Like some of the wording makes me think it's a series, but we'll find out. They were intentionally vague with it.
Sticking with the kind of the same Blackish idea with Kenya Barris, it's the story centers this time on a multiracial family blended of 12 members navigating their hectic home life while managing their family business. Mm-hmm. Starring Bring It On alum Gabrielle Union.
And I mean, even that premise sounds ripe for series more than movie to me.
Yes. Maybe it's an introductory movie that will spawn off into a series?
Maybe.
Yeah. I'm trying to. I know there's another example of that somewhere in the canon, but I can't think of it. Going back to the kids' books idea, Diary of a Wimpy Kid, which did spawn some live action films, will be coming to Disney Plus in 2021 as an all new animated film. So I don't know why that's in my live action list.
Well, I think it's here because it doesn't fit into the other umbrellas that we talked about. And it's where it came in on the Disney PDF, like the document that Disney put out, like, here's what we talked about. They put it under just like Disney General. I want to know, there's a couple animated series, and I want to know who's doing them. And my fingers are crossed that it's Blue Sky, because they announced nothing for Blue Sky other than we presume they're doing the Ice Age thing. Yeah. And I would like to see them continue being gainfully employed rather than Disney outsourcing to other chipper animation studios.
Yeah. It doesn't say anywhere. I would assume, I hope also for the same reasons you just said, that it's Blue Sky, but there are 3 animated series coming, not from Walt Disney Animation or Disney Television Animation or anything like that, but we have Diary of a Wimpy Kid, the Ice Age Adventures of Buck Wild, and then Night at the Museum, a popular live action franchise getting flipped into an animated one for Disney Plus.
And all 3 of those, 20th Century Studios Productions, Blue Sky was their animation studio. So I think it would be so fitting if they were handling all of these. We'll see.
I agree. Ice Age Adventures of Buck Wild, it's a spin-off of the character.
Mm-hmm. So it's like Minions compared to the Despicable Me movie, like a new adventure with 3 of the characters from the Ice Age films. Ice Age movie.
It says it's focused on 3 series favorites: the Prankster Possum Brothers, Crash and Eddie, and the Weasel Buck Wild. Yeah,
I need to go back and get into the Ice Age films because I saw the first one and the second one in theaters, and I haven't seen anything since then.
Yeah. I'm actually really kind of interested in the Night at the Museum one because in Night at the Museum, there's so much stuff that happens and you're restricted by that live action like format. Yeah. I would be excited to see what they can do when they can create their own.
Yeah, there's so much more they could do. I'm almost wondering too, like, is this meant to be starting over, or are they kind of continuing the stories?
That's what I was curious too.
Because if it's the latter, they could continue with Robin Williams' character as well.
Yeah. Would we get Dan Castellaneta back for that one?
Maybe. Either that, or we would harvest from all of Robin Williams' many recording studio sessions or outtakes to use
That's
his
true.
voice, kind of like they've done with Don Rickles as Potato Head.
Mm-hmm. And the wife too. Not Doris Roberts.
George Costanza's mom, though.
Yeah. I always mix Ray Romano's mom and George Costanza's mom.
I brought you angry eyes, just in case.
Ice Age Adventures of Buck Wild in early 2022. Diary of a Wimpy Kid is an all-new animated film in 2021, and then the Night at the Museum series will launch. Or is it not even a series? Do we know if it's a series or not?
It's a movie.
It's a movie.
And it's being produced by the director of the live-action films. I think is what they said.
Sean Levy. Oh, no, he's director.
Oh, he's directing.
Yeah, Sean Levy helped shape the blockbuster franchise, directing of previous films. Cool. Is also helming this. Also helming Free Guy, which is coming up. But is on board as a producer, so he directed the other ones, but he's producing this one.
Free Guy's just waiting for its debut. He's done with that. Poor Free
Guy. But speaking of movies that are in the can and just waiting for their day in the sun, a sunny jungle, I'm guessing somewhere.
Oh my gosh,
that's a good segue, huh?
Oh wait,
Jungle Cruise, slated for July of next year to come out theatrically. Everything else we've talked about has been mostly Disney Plus or all Disney Plus. This is theatrical.
Yep.
Jungle Cruise.
It's a paradox. I'm looking forward to it. I was excited for it, before. What gives me hope now is I don't think it'll be delayed again. I don't think anything will be in the wake of the Raya news that it's still coming to theaters in March, and it will also come to Premiere Access. Day and date. So I'm thinking same thing will happen with Jungle Cruise, even if movie theaters aren't back up to full capacity by then. And I've been excited for it pretty much since they announced it, and seeing what they showed at the expo made me even more so excited. I'm just curious to see, in terms of publicity, if anyone in the film will be still contractually obligated to do anything, because I think usually it's a year after it was supposed to come out, they no longer have to touch it. And it's over a year.
Well, everybody who I've seen talk about it previously, Emily Blunt, Dwayne Johnson, there's genuine passion about it there, which gets me excited. It's not just the marketing shill, it's a great movie, it's a fantastic adventure for the whole family. They're just gung-ho.
Well, and I think they want it to continue. It seems like they want it to be a Pirates of the Caribbean level franchise, and they want to come back and do more. You're
a part guy also. Would you like to see that happen?
I would. I will say Jungle Cruise is not among my favorite attractions. Okay. Just because, they make them stick to the script, and you can wait 20 minutes and have a really bad guide because there's really no good audition process for it. So it's, but I would be excited. I love that humor. I love even just reading the menu at Skipper Canteen. Because it makes me laugh. It's our pleasure to have you, and we hope it's your pleasure being had.
Do you think that humor? Because I feel like this movie's more of an action adventure type movie, kind of maybe like a family friendly Indiana Jones.
I think they're gonna have it. Okay, I think
you would have to,
and it might just come up accidentally, where they say it and then they realize, oh, that's funny. But I think it's gonna have that. I'm looking forward to it.
Do we know, because it got delayed way longer than other titles?
Yeah.
So do we think it was simply COVID-19, or do we think there was more in terms of what was going on with the world?
I hadn't heard anything about complicated reshoots, which leads me to believe it was purely COVID-19. Disney recognized that this is a fun summer film because of its setting, and they wanted it to come out at the height of the summer, early July, right around 4th of July weekend, a big weekend for movies. So I think they realized they had a good thing on their hands, and they wanted to get it out at the right moment when it could become a big deal.
Yeah. Because it does look like that cliche summer blockbuster. So
yeah, and I feel like the same with Black Widow. Like they wanted Black Widow to be the big spring break blockbuster, even though from the trailers it looks like there's winter moments in it. So like it could have come out now, but I think they were like, this is our big spring break movie. We want it to be at spring break, and that's why that was pushed out a year.
So I have a hard time calling this one a live action film, as I did with the one it's based on. I think you already know where I'm going.
How about we say live action looking?
Live action looking.
Which is how I referred to the first one.
Okay. Live action looking Lion King prequel that looks at the origin stories of Mufasa.
Ooh.
That was good.
Do it again.
Do it again, yeah. Revisiting iconic characters. There's no name. It's just the Lion King live action prequel.
Mm-hmm. The first Lion King.
Yes. to me, this is like Star Wars Episode 1, and everybody who won is like a Qui-Gon Jinn backstory. We don't need it, right?
No.
I kind of would like it, but we don't need this.
Did we need a live action looking Lion King?
Well, no.
No, but I mean, everybody loves Lion King. It's a huge deal for a lot of people.
Yes.
And
me is probably my favorite of the Disney animated classics.
Yeah.
The Walt Disney Studios ones, if not number one, top three.
Right. Yeah, that's a lot of people. Like, I think you poll the majority of people, what's their favorite Disney animated movie, and it's Lion King.
Yeah.
Mufasa is a great character, and almost one with like spiritual reverence for a lot of people. So I think it'll be interesting for fans to see a story that probably humanizes him more, because he's so godly. Like, he's just this all-knowing king in the beginning, and then he dies, and then he comes back in the clouds. But as we've seen with other Lion King spin-off projects, it's the circle of life. And so it's mostly just a story of history repeating itself, loop, 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 loop. And so I think we can predict everything that's going to happen, all the main story beats, which makes it a little less exciting.
Yeah, and I think this movie is going to go into the dark, shadowy corner that I just don't really go to, because I was told not to go to the dark, shadowy place.
Right. Universal, everything the light doesn't touch.
Yeah, what about that over there? We must never go there.
Disney property. Universal and SeaWorld. So but I mean, I think it'll be fun. I think what's more exciting than following Mufasa is watching Scar and him battle, because that's their youth is Mufasa being born first, so Scar not getting the king, but wanting it, and then also they allude to it in Lion King that Scar had some kind of like a deficiency that made him weaker physically than Mufasa. Like, he's skinny, he's bony. I feel like in the live action one, they make a statement that leads you more to believe like he had some kind of, hello, Merrily. He had some kind of a issue, a birth challenge that made him a weaker lion to begin with.
So full disclosure, didn't watch it.
Oh, you haven't seen the live action one? No, you have seen it. It just looked
exactly. It was just drawn by pencils and artists and colors. Not that Lion King live action wasn't.
I'm a huge Jon Favreau fan, but the Lion King.
I love the Jungle Book.
I know, same. It's my favorite of the live action adaptations, but Lion King underwhelmed me mostly because it's just a shot for shot remake, but somehow stretches everything out to be 2 hours.
And then this is a whole other stream topic I can get into, but it's just, you have in the 2D, the original, you have like the accentuated eye features. And this is from the stuff I've seen that made me not want to watch it. It's just little Timon. Oh no, look, he's going that way or whatever. And it's just,
they did animate more, like, it's live action looking, but it's really animated. And they did put in like more expressive facial functions, but you are right. Like, it's a live action warthog. So when they're singing Hakuna, his lips don't go ooh.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't have them.
So Timon and Pumbaa Timon is, after much debate and thought about it again as an adult, it still is probably my favorite Disney character, regardless. And part of that is because he's so all over the place and and like hand gestures and everything. Yes, that too. Tumble monkeys. But to see these little clips where he's not that's absolutely, it wasn't appealing to me. And the fact that they're making a sequel off of this, granted, yes, we did get 2 sequels off of the original animated one, so I can't really say too much. He lives in me. I had gone to see Rivers of Light with somebody after that had come out, the original one, and it's got oh my gosh, the name of the song just flew out of me, but the song that's in it, We Are One.
We Are One, yeah.
And I completely, like, Lion King 2, I watched like twice, and it's in the back recesses of my brain. And
Lion King 1.5 is surprisingly solid, though.
I love 1.5. But so
it's maybe the best thing Disney Toon Studios did straight to DVD.
Yes. So we're sitting at Rivers of Light, and then they start doing We Are One, and the person I was with just goes, "Is this the song from Lion King 2?" And I'm like, "What?"
It's the same title, but it's actually not the same song.
The lyrics are different a little bit.
Yeah, well, the melody is a little, I mean, it's similar, but the melody is different too.
You got to sculpt it for the show.
Yeah.
They didn't do the hand jive in The Lion King, yet they do it in The Lion King show.
They did use We Are One as the song for a short that was supposed to be from the third Fantasia.
Which one?
The one where the kids are flying kites.
What short is it?
It's called We Are One.
Okay, I'm looking into this.
Fantasia 3, we're so off topic. Fantasia 3 was going to be world music.
Yeah.
And that song originated on the Rhythm of the Pride Lands, Just Like He Lives in You.
Yeah.
And it was included in Lion King 2. And it's the Lebo M version from Rhythm of the Pride Lands that they animated to. And it's kids in Africa with multicolored kites. The 2D short. It was made around the same time as Lorenzo, Little Match Girl, all these things that were supposed to be part of the third Fantasia. It was released on the DVD of Lion King 1.5.
That's probably why it sounds familiar, but I wasn't correlating that it was meant for Fantasia 3.
Yeah, so like if you talk to Don Hahn or read things Don Hahn has said about Fantasia 3, like that was one of the first shorts in the can from that Fantasia world or whatever it was going to be called.
I'd love to sit and talk with Don Hahn about that and a lot of other things. But anyway, we're so beyond gone. The Lion King live action prequel sequel, no date. But the one thing that does give me hope about it, which did give me hope for the live action of Lion King, is the music. Pharrell Williams and Nicholas Britell, or Breitel, however you want to say his last name, will deliver the music. And it's from the director of almost not Academy Award winning Moonlight, but it did win the Best Picture.
Wait, no, you guys won. Moonlight, get up here. Well, at least we'll never have to wonder what La La Land's directors would have said if they had won.
I just watched the Honest trailer for La La Land again the other night, and the Moonlight, they did the Another Day of Sun, but and that's the reason Moonlight won. And
awesome.
So I just saw Moonlight here. I'm like, that's the reason Moonlight won.
Honest trailer for Cats is my favorite.
I haven't watched that one yet, but I've watched Cats. So what's wrong with me?
Now go watch the Honest trailer because it tells you everything you need to know.
So I think with the live action realm,
I just want to say before we get off the prequel, I do think it's really interesting that Elton John is not involved.
I didn't put that together till you just said that.
Yeah, I know he wrote actually a really good end credit song for the live action one, and Disney backed Beyonce's song as like the one to submit for Academy consideration. And I'm thinking there's a feud that just a bridge that can't be rebuilt, that burned down.
They could call Sting. Oh wait, no, they can't. Sorry.
Nope, that bridge also.
That bridge is also.
You burnt.
Cusco Dystopia. Read it on laughingplace.com.
My 30 Rock. You burnt.
Also, learned last night Doobie doesn't like 30 Rock.
He's an interesting character. He's in 30 Rock. Like, it's in the writer room. Like, there's a character of Doobie in there.
So live action again. We talked about the Lion King prequel, sequel. The Little Mermaid, sticking with films of the Renaissance. Little Mermaid.
You said Lion King is your favorite. I have two. I can't pick one or the other. So it's Peter Pan and Little Mermaid.
Okay,
are my top two.
So we're talking about both of those today. So perfect.
Cool.
Yeah, Little Mermaid. I think at this point for me, I was like, because I remember hearing that 19 live action animated movies were greenlit, whether it be for theatrical or Disney Plus. This is going theatrically.
I just realized they didn't talk Sword in the Stone at all.
No,
they had announced that they were doing a live action Sword in the Stone.
It confused me when they said it because it's singer and actor Halle Bailey. I heard Halle Berry. You have
to be real careful.
What?
She has a girl group with her sister, and they did a song for the Wrinkle in Time soundtrack that was really.
But the cast actually, much like the animated Lion King, but I feel like this one won't be a shot-for-shot remake.
Yeah.
But it's got Halle Bailey, Awkwafina, Jacob Tremblay, who is a brilliant, in my opinion, kid actor, but I think he's relegated to just a vocal role because he's Flounder, and Javier Bardem as King Triton with Melissa McCarthy as Ursula. But the big one that all my friends had that football reaction that you said where they got up, was David Diggs as Sebastian. So that'll be interesting.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of things about The Little Mermaid. You know, obviously it's 35 years old almost.
Thank you for that.
You're welcome. There are things about it that, like, if you were to make it today, you wouldn't get away with without getting some people upset. Namely, Ariel falling in love with someone on site and all of that. So I think this will be quite different for that reason. The things that they had changed for the live action Beauty and the Beast were also similar. You know, they gave Belle and Beast a lot more commonality with their upbringing that they could relate to each other through. But I am looking forward to it. I love The Little Mermaid. I love mermaids in general because of it, because I was born into a world where there was Little Mermaid the movie, Little Mermaid the series, and Tycho released like 200 different variations of the Ariel doll, and I wanted them all. So, big deal.
I remember that was one of the first movies I saw in a theater.
So I know it's not the first movie I saw in theater. I think we're about the same age, but it is the first vivid memory I have of being in the theater and like holding my dad's arm so tight when Ursula got big at the end and being really scared about it. Like I had no problem with her up until then, and then she's, you know, giant, and I was like, oh snap.
Wouldn't that have been cool to see in a ride?
Yes.
Anyway,
that's my Ursula.
The original DVD release, or not the original, Platinum Edition had the CG run through of that, and that was the finale. But now we just get
the original version they were going to make. That was a Peter Pan's flight, suspended from the ceiling attraction. I do like the ride that they built, but that is the part that I hate, where it's like the silhouette of Ariel and Eric kissing, and there's just this little, like, I'm pretty sure it's like 1950s style cardboard with like moving arms, and her face is like this, and her arms are going. Like she's just so mad. But also I like that she's always working out. got her little sweatpants on. She's just she just came from the gym to do.
So Awkwafina's in the cast as well. Who does she play in the live action?
I am not sure if they announced who she is. I wouldn't be surprised if Awkwafina is one of Ariel's sisters.
Okay.
Or someone like that. Now, when they did Little Mermaid on Broadway, the Disney theatrical production, don't see the current touring version. It is different and it's worse. But they went with colorblind casting on the stage, which I thought was really cool. So King Triton was a Black actor. All of Ariel's sisters were different ethnicities. And I thought that was a really cool way to do it, and I wouldn't be surprised if the film, I know they've already, broken,
based on this cast list, it looks like it's the same way.
Yeah, so I think it would be really cool to have a colorblind cast Little Mermaid. One of my favorite Wonderful World of Disney things ever is the Rodgers and Hammerstein Cinderella with Whitney Houston as the fairy godmother and Brandy as Cinderella. And that's a colorblind cast. Whoopi Goldberg and Victor Garber produced a Filipino baby. And it works so well until you say it. Like, I love that film so much. So I would love to see this.
So my biggest concern, do you think they'll address this in the live action one? Will she write out that she can't talk in the sand? Because she obviously understands English.
Like, since she signed her contract.
She signed her contract, all that. So she could write, hey, I can't talk. It's me.
No, but maybe because of that, they won't have the contract moment.
Okay.
Because Beauty and the Beast addressed the 10 years we've been rusting bit.
Did they?
They do. Because they talk about the time froze for everybody. So like Cogsworth's wife at the end is like the same age as he last saw her. Like, no one has aged in that time. So no, the Beast wasn't 9 when he was cursed.
That was one that I was never like behind.
I just love the fan art of like little boy answering door. And then transformed into like baby beast.
Kayla's right. Kayla's right. I think Aquafina is supposed to be Scuttle.
That's right. Yes, you are correct.
Thank you, Kayla. Very much appreciated. Yeah. But yeah, no, there's a lot of like fan theories, fan plot holes, and I don't usually get behind them, but the Ariel one, I was like, that right there.
If you haven't seen it though, look up Baby Beast transformed fan art. Okay. It's so good. They make his eyes so big, and he just looks like a hurt little puppy looking up. Like, what did you do?
Well, of course, a 9-year-old is gonna slam the door in an old hag's face.
I don't want your flower.
Yeah, get out of here, gosh.
Curse the child.
But this one's, again, can we call it live action? The next one we got coming up, it's a live action animated hybrid. Oh, I didn't show the logo for the last one. Hold on, there we go. Oh, I remember you said you liked this logo. What about it appeals to you?
So, well, it's very similar to the original animated film's logo, but it's different enough. I like the way the M comes down almost like a mermaid tail and kind of underscores everything. Like the T, I think, is the same. Like, it's mostly the same. It's just, I think the M is the new bit.
I'm leaving that up for a second.
Yeah, no, I love it. And when they brought out The Little Mermaid for its 10th anniversary in, I think it was 98, 99, they brought it back out to theaters, and then it came back to VHS. But at that point, they changed the logo for all the marketing, and that's the logo that's on the marquee for the attraction at California Adventure. And it's also similar, but it changes things enough that I don't love it. Particularly, they put this weird seashell between the and little in that 1998 version.
So I have the newest release, but that looks nothing like anything.
No. I mean,
but this one I like. You said it looks like a mermaid tail, and I could see that too. But I like it because there's enough of a bend in the M for mermaid that it looks like an ocean wave.
Yeah, it could be a wave too. And I will also say I like the gradient of the color in here too. It reminds me of the opening of Little Mermaid with the waves going, and you've got all the different ocean blues. So it's not just a solid color. When I saw that logo, I was like, "Ooh, pretty."
It is a good logo, but like I remember you said to me, "Oh, I had the logo. Oh, I'm so excited."
I was like, "That's a beautiful logo. Don't change that one, but cancel the Hocus Pocus 2 logo."
You heard it here. Hopo 2.
Hopo 2.
No logo for Hopo
logo. Change that. Whoever did that logo done messed.
But a logo I can get behind that we kind of just hit before I remembered that logo. Boom. Hold on, let me get rid of the banner. Chippendale Rescue Rangers.
When there's danger.
Chippendale. Where'd it go? Go away, thing. There we go.
Cool.
So at first, when they started talking about it, I'm pretty sure you others around, I'm sure, had that football reaction. Yeah, but this was me. Okay. Like that was how I was.
Well, and I would say when
But
they first announced this, I was picturing Alvin and the Chipmunks, like
that's where my brain went too. But then I know it wasn't public, but we were fortunate enough to see a test, and then I complete 180. But the one issue I have, and I'll get over it, they didn't alter. So Andy Samberg is Dale and John Mulaney is Chip, but they didn't tweak their voice. So
which
hearing those voices came out. Okay. So
if you watch the newer DuckTales, like they don't tweak or pitch up the voices of Huey, Dewey, and Louie at all. And so I guess I was kind of expecting it was weird because the Alvin and the Chipmunks movies, they got names. They weren't like huge names now, but like at the time they were names, but they pitched them all up so they didn't sound anything like Jesse McCartney or whoever they all were.
I was gonna say the only one I remember is Jesse McCartney.
Yeah, I can't remember the other two either, but it was like maybe Drake and Josh or someone from like Nickelodeon. But
so I didn't know that ahead of time that they didn't tweak them on DuckTales either. My Disney Channel viewing is relegated to mostly Big Hero 6, the series. But when they first started talking with just the normal Andy Samberg, John Mulaney voice, that was jarring. I was like, whoa, what? But then the humor that came out of those clips, I was like, okay, I'm on board.
Especially, I mean, for you and anyone who like knows enough about animation and all the different styles, it was really like inside jokes. Poking fun because one of them was cell shaded. One of them was like fully rendered, furry, looks like Chip and Dale became real, but it didn't look like an anthropomorphic chipmunk, which I liked. You know, Alvin and the Chipmunks made them look like monks. This made them look like Chip and Dale fully furry. And they didn't go Sonic level. So
a friend of mine had said, "Are you seeing something I'm not right now?" And I said, "Yes." And the first question was, "Is it Sonic?" And that's all they said. And I was like, "No, I promise you, it's okay."
It's a lot better than Sonic G1. But and then this human character who it was so funny. They like ripped on Robert Zemeckis and his motion capture films because it's a human just looking like, and they're like, "Where are you looking?" "I'm looking right at you." "No, you're not. You're dead. Like you're from Polar Express."
It was like I can't tell where you're looking with those Polar Express eyes.
Something like that. And it was funny because I think the next movie they announced was from director Robert Zemeckis,
which we were going to talk about. I was going to jump on that, but so Chip and Dale. I don't know. I don't think they gave a specific date. It just said spring 2022. From Akiva Schaffer, who's directing, and he did Pop Star Never Stop Popping, which I think is a grossly underrated comedy.
I haven't seen it because I felt like at the time there was just so much Andy Samberg everywhere.
I didn't see it at the time. I saw it later on HBO or something, and I was like, "Oh my god, this is actually genuinely funny."
I'll have to check it out. I know it's been on Hulu. Maybe it still is.
Yeah, but it's and again going back to the whole because they're Akiva Schaffer is 1/3 along with Andy Samberg making up 2/3 of Lonely Island. So I feel like a lot of that will carry over into Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers, especially because I believe Jenny Slate is she's not in this announcement, but I know she came on as Gadget. Gadget Hat Wrench, and then Chris Evans' ex-girlfriend coming on as Gadget Hat Wrench. Hatchet Wrench.
Amicable.
Yeah, I'm not saying there's anything bad, but that's how we just rub it into our other friend's face because she's in love with Chris Evans. I'm like, sorry.
Same.
Jenny's late. Yeah, well, that's why there's a little bitter tone there. Got it.
He's my one other. Rather than allowing a list, we're allowed one other.
Yeah, he's not in Rescue Rangers. He was too busy making Lightyear, probably.
Definitely, yeah.
But yes, so they made the Polar Express eyes joke, slighting Robert Zemeckis, who also is on board for another theatrical release because it doesn't say anything about Disney Plus. Pinocchio.
I think they did say this is Disney Plus. Like, I don't think they put it in the description, but I seem to remember them saying Disney Plus at the end. Which
it does. It's coming to Disney Plus. My apologies.
Robert Zemeckis and Tom Hanks, and you would expect that to be a theatrical.
Right. Because Zemeckis and Tom Hanks work on everything together.
They have that
Robert Zemeckis and Tom Hanks are to Tim Burton and Johnny Depp.
Mm-hmm.
Forrest Gump, Castaway, Polar Express, the entire cast of Polar Express.
Mm-hmm. I'm the conductor. I'm Santa. I'm someone's dad.
Bringing a compelling new live-action retelling that will leverage state-of-the-art CGI, of course, to bring Pinocchio to life. A living puppet, with the help of a cricket as his conscience, must prove himself worthy to become a real boy in a musical remake of the Disney animated classic. Tom Hanks will be playing Geppetto, which is where I got confused, because for a while there I was calling it Geppetto.
That was done. That was Drew Carey.
That was Drew Carey.
With Julia Louis-Dreyfus as the Blue Fairy.
Possibly some of the best Who's Line jokes, if you're a Who's Line fan, stem off of
I just remember Usher was like the proprietor of Pleasure Island in that version.
Suddenly I miss Pleasure Island.
And there is a song from Geppetto that gets stuck in my head called Just Because It's Magic that Julia Louis-Dreyfus sang. And every once in a while it just like comes out of nowhere in my head. And I'm like, oh, Geppetto.
Can you give me a little bit?
Just because it's magic doesn't mean it's easy. Just because it's magic. It's good. It's good stuff.
So aside from Robert Zemeckis and what's up, Nathan? We'll pass that on. He's not here with us today.
We'll let him know you said sup.
We'll let him know you said what's up. Aside from it's Pinocchio retelling, and it's Tom Hanks as Geppetto, and it's Robert Zemeckis. In Disney Plus, we don't really know a lot.
But the fact that it's going to include the music is a big deal, because I don't know if you know this, Disney doesn't own the rights to When You Wish Upon a Star, so they have to pay when they use it.
I did not know that.
Oh, yeah. So
you've given me a couple projects today.
Oh, my gosh. Before Disney, there's a really good book called, what's it called? It's about the history of Disneyland records. And in there, it talks about how before the like early 50s, I think Cinderella was the first time Walt Disney was like, we're keeping the rights to the music. But everything before that, he would sell off the publishing rights to make more money. Like he would make more money selling the songs than holding on to them. And so eventually,
shows you how different the world was then too.
Right. Eventually the studio reacquired a lot of the songs, but When You Wish Upon a Star was too expensive. So Disney still to this day doesn't own the publishing rights to When You Wish Upon a Star, and they have to pay to use it.
Who do they have to? Do we know who they have to pay?
I want to say like it's with Sony now. Like Sony bought like whatever publishing house had it, and like Sony's got it now. But what's really funny is like those Disney piano and Disney guitar. This is so off topic. Albums that go on Apple Music and Pandora. They have not done When You Wish Upon a Star on any of them yet, because they're only doing the cheapies, the ones they own the rights to full out, so they don't have to pay.
The cheapies. I like
so that. They haven't done anything from Snow White. They haven't done anything from Pinocchio, because they have to pay money for those, because they don't own those songs.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Mickey Mouse.
Donald Duck. Forever let us hold our banner high, high, high,
high. Thank you, Tails. Yes, we have broken that 100,000 subscriber mark. Thanks to people like you who like and subscribe, watch all of our jibber jammer about legalities of song rights. So thanks for joining us and helping us achieve that. Next up, 200K.
Yeah. And I hope you're excited about Super Nintendo World at Kyoto's Universal Orlando.
Oh, that looks fake. It looks so good. It looks so good, but like I see aerial shots. And I'm like, that's a toy.
Going up the stairs with like the Bowser statue, like you're in one of the Mario Kart levels. I'm just like, oh yes, need this. I'm
excited.
I just hope when you enter the land through the warp pipe, it goes whoop whoop whoop.
I'm sure it has to. At Diagon Alley, they have the little brick rotating noises, so I'm assuming they have to. They have to. Now let's go back to other live action movies from Walt Disney Studios.
Topic
coming right to Disney Plus. Again, no mention of theatrical for this one. Peter Pan and Wendy.
Mm-hmm.
Your other favorite.
My other fave, and this is really exciting. because like Little Mermaid with Peter Pan, I was such a big fan of the animated one that I went back and read like the J.M. Barrie books. I've seen old silent movies based on the plays, and obviously I'm a big fan of like the Mary Martin, Kathy Rigby version of the stage musical. But Peter Pan and Wendy is actually the title of the first Peter Pan book published. Its history started out as a play, and then when J.M. Barrie put it as a book, it was called Peter Pan and Wendy. So I thought that was really cool.
So do you think this might be a series of movies?
I think it could be. I will say, like The Wizard of Oz, as the series goes on, they just get weirder and weirder. So I don't know that I necessarily want to see a lot of it. But I think it's cool that we start with Peter Pan and Wendy. And, you know, like Return to Neverland, like Return to Neverland was based on some of the later Peter Pan stuff. I never saw an octopus in J.M. Barrie's writing, but like when Peter Pan went back for Wendy, she was too old to join him, so he took her daughter Moira for another adventure. Like that is from that world of books. And I would hope that's where this ends, that this starts with...
That's where Hook spawned off of too, right?
Hook, yes, Hook,
yeah.
the Steven Spielberg movie, which I love and Benji hates, and he never wants to watch it with me. But Hook movie does that as well. That Peter Pan, or no, I'm sorry, Hook is Peter Pan came back. He fell in love with Moira. He married her. Now Peter Pan's got kids, and Hook took his children. Peter Pan's got kids.
But going back to the Disney Plus one. Speaking of Hook, Jude Law is, I think, what sold it for me as Captain Hook.
He was really good in Captain Marvel too, as a character you thought was good, and then got dark.
Spoilers, gosh.
I would hope 2 years later, anyone who wanted to see it saw it. It's on Disney Plus.
I just like saying that
for the low price of $6.99 a month, soon to be $7.99.
$7.99. It will also have Yara Shahidi, or Shahidi, I don't know if I'm saying that right, from Blackish and Grownish as Tinkerbell. And directed by the guy who brought us the reboot of Pete's Dragon, David Lowery.
Which I'm a huge Pete's Dragon fan, and I don't hate his modern day Pete's Dragon Lost in the Woods Without a Lighthouse adaptation. I probably should, but I don't hate it.
I just I saw it and I was like, oh, because it has Bryce Dallas Howard in it, and I was like, oh, she's just working with a lot of CG creatures lately, because that was around the same time as Jurassic World. Little
known fact: she's not Jessica Chastain. Have you seen that music video?
No, but I've seen interviews between the two of them on Graham Norton where they talk about that.
There's a whole music video someone made that I have to send to you. It's a really good song, and it's just like Bryce Dallas Howard singing "I Am Not Jessica Chastain."
So speaking of actors that look alike, Amy Adams and I think Isla Fisher get confused a lot. Isla Fisher being on Godmothered, which just came out recently on Disney Plus. And then Amy Adams, though, is about to hit again on Disney Plus with Disenchanted.
Yes.
I don't think you're excited about it, though.
I saw Enchanted 4 times in theaters. I loved it so much. And I knew who Amy Adams was already, because I loved this film that's taken off in popularity now, but Drop Dead Gorgeous. Growing up in the Midwest, it's such a perfect mockumentary about small town Midwest living. And it really speaks to where I grew up. So I love that film. She's the cheerleader in that, and fell in love with Enchanted. Love the music. It's honestly some of my favorite Alan Menken music as well. Yeah.
It's obvious. I think it's, in terms of like traditional like Alan Menken love songs in a Disney movie, probably my favorite one. Yeah,
and even just like the way it opens, and I know a lot of people didn't love the Disneyland summertime only magical fireworks show, but the reason I loved it was it started with that like that was the intro, and I was like, this music has always needed a fireworks show. I'm so excited for Disenchanted. Alan Menken's back. Amy Adams is back. I hope Idina Menzel is back. I hope Idina Menzel gets to sing a song, because the one crime Enchanted committed was casting Idina Menzel in a speaking-only role.
Yeah.
And I also really like, what's his name, who played the prince in it. He was just in Sonic.
Max Booth's brother, Jason Mars, or James Mars, or Jason? James. James Marsden, one of the two James.
Marsden,
Jamie period Marsden.
Not
Max
Jason,
Goof or Thackeray Binks.
Not Binks the cat, but Cyclops. I'm hoping he comes back too, because he's also a really good singer. And I'm excited for all of this. I don't necessarily need McDreamy back, but that's where it ended. So I'm sure he'll be back.
I made a joke last night during trivia, which you could watch a replay of on our YouTube channel, and nobody got it because one of the options was it was a question about Patrick Warburton for Emperor's New Groove, and one of the options was Patrick Dempsey, and I said the McDouble or the McChicken.
Good job, everybody.
Thanks. Nobody's like, what? Like Patrick Dempsey. He was one of the mix.
McDreamy, McSteamy, take your pick.
But yeah, so she'll be back. Giselle will be back. We'll find her life flipped upside down. And I'm not going to rap, but when she fell out of her animated fantasy world and discovered herself stuck in real life Manhattan.
The one thing I ever asked Parade Entertainment managers for, and they didn't make it happen, was a picture with Giselle when she was just in that cavalcade, because for whatever reason they had to pay Amy Adams if they let her do meet and greets. So
that's why I don't like that song, for the record.
Yeah,
Never Ever After.
Yeah,
because it would play
well, and
for about 9 minutes while she went by for 20 seconds.
I actually, when I hear that song, think of the American Idol experience because of those ads.
Oh,
that
right.
Was the song they used. It was like some nameless chick on stage going, ever, ever, after. And it was like the American Idol experience at Disney's Hollywood Studios. See it before it glows away.
Yeah. And then we bought, or ABC
bought American Idol after
after that closed.
After the show.
That was when we're coming soon to ABC. American Idol. I'm like, well, what
Disney
are you doing?
They also have a habit of putting up a World Showcase on your phone adventure based on a Disney Channel property that just ended.
Yes.
Kim Possible ended like a year before that came out. Phineas and Ferb ended like a month before that came out. And DuckTales is now ending. Just
got canceled.
And that's what they're doing. It was like when they announced that was coming to World Showcase, I was like, they're going to cancel DuckTales. They got to, or
there's supposed to be a water balloon fight thing too in the Play Pavilion also. But and then I know they've changed the verbiage on it to with your favorite Disney characters now. So there's that fix. But moving on, Disenchanted, no timeline on that, just coming exclusively to Disney Plus.
Still in development. Adam Shankman's a busy man. This is another one though where I question why the original director isn't coming back. It was
who directed Enchanted? Do you remember?
What's his name? He directed a Goofy movie and Tarzan.
Oh,
clickety click. Tarzan director, Goofy movie director,
Kevin Lima.
Thank you. He directed Enchanted. He's still alive, still working.
Bring him back.
Come on back now.
Speaking of people who are still alive, still working, also for the company too. Sister Act 3.
Yes.
Yeah. Whoopi Goldberg on board to star and produce.
Fun fact, the first CD I ever bought was the Sister Act 2 soundtrack.
I might talk to you about that afterward because I'm missing some tracks.
Disc.
I am missing some tracks to fill in my collection.
Oh, yeah. That music is not streaming anywhere.
Correct. Yeah. So I might be, because I'm missing I only have 2 songs and I need the others.
Oh, happy
so we'll talk later. But Tyler Perry has also signed on to produce.
And Whoopi.
And Whoopi starring and producing. Sister Act 3, no timeline, will premiere on Disney Plus. And the hope in that for me is Lauryn Hill is still alive.
Oh,
Where is she? Come on back. So I'm going to ask you a question. And this is a point of contention for a lot of me and my friends. Sister Act 1 or Sister Act 2?
So personally, Sister Act 1 is my favorite, but one of my best friends, his favorite movie, period, is Sister Act 2, Back in the Habit. And I was so when I was a kid and people would ask who's your favorite actor or actress, it was Macaulay Culkin because of Home Alone and Whoopi Goldberg because of Sister Act. And my school had an event auction, and one of the items up for auction was a Sister Act 2 mini poster autographed by Whoopi Goldberg. and that was my Christmas gift that year. And so
do you still have it?
It's in the basement of my parents' house,
Okay.
hung up, not on the side of it. It's a furnished basement, so this isn't weird.
Not like in a box in the corner by a radiator.
You have Whoopi Goldberg in her sparkly habit with her leg up on an amplifier, and then she's got high heels on. It signed by Whoopi Goldberg.
That's awesome.
Yes.
Sister Act 2 for me.
Yeah, I know a lot of people love Sister Act 2. I just the first one is, in my opinion, a lot funnier. Sister Act 2, I think, has bigger heart. As
a movie, like if I'm looking at a purely like technical film school analysis movie, Sister Act, obviously. Sister Act 2, though, is where I'm like, this is solid. Like, this is great. And somebody asked a question on Facebook once. What is one movie that you will never go out of your way to put on, but if it were on, you would stop dead in your tracks to watch? And I sat there and I thought about it for a good 15 minutes. And I was like, Sister Act 2.
Just to get off topic further, have you ever gone through San Francisco looking for the churches?
Yes.
Okay.
Have I found them? Yes. The going way off topic now. The tennis court thing. Well, it's a tennis court now, but the rooftop where the kids hung out, even though it was on top of the school or whatever. Yeah. I think it's a Nob Hill or Russian Hill.
Okay.
Yeah, hung out there just because it was in Sister Act 2.
Nice. Yeah, I've seen I've never been in them, but I've seen the two churches. Yep. I've seen the house from Mrs. Doubtfire. Yep. I have driven by the facade of the school from Princess Diaries. Okay. But one thing that's on my list that I haven't found, and I could if I really wanted to, is the firehouse from Princess Diaries. Okay. I've never done any of the Princess Diaries ones. I've done everything else, and then of course Full House and Full House. Yeah, if you go to easy. Yeah. So if you're you can't miss it. Yeah, if you've been to San Francisco and didn't see the Full House, you weren't in San Francisco. Yeah. Or you saw it like you were in the financial district for a meeting. You only went to Pier 59 and you spent your time poorly. Yep. Got some maybe the wharf, and that was it. Yeah. You didn't touch anything. You went to Bodine. Yep. I mean, I could go for that right now. But red. And lastly, coming in 2021, theatrically, starring Emma Stone, another kind of live action interpretation of an animated film, Cruella. This one looks to me more like it'll be like Maleficent, where it's the villain origin story. It is. I mean, that's what the story is. Yeah. In terms of like how it looks on paper, I wasn't excited for it. And even that image doesn't get my heart beating, but watching what they showed, I was enthralled with. Yeah. And I really like her portrayal. Like, we got to see her speak. Yes. And I was I don't think that one was publicly available because I can't find it anywhere for use today. But again, kind of like the Chip and Dale one, we were fortunate enough to see a little bit of it. And that the idea, I'll read what it says on paper. Emma Stone stars as Estella, aka Cruella, opposite Oscar winner Emma Thompson as the Baroness, the head of a prestigious fashion house who plucks Estella from obscurity as a burgeoning designer. It's set against the backdrop of 1970s punk rock London, and director Craig Gillespie delivers a unique take on this one-of-a-kind villain. But all of that to me was like, just like you said, like, okay. But then we saw it, and I'm like... And it works. All right, yeah, all right. And in a weird way, it almost reminded me of like Tim Burton's take on Batman. Like something about that version of London reminded me of Tim Burton's Gotham. I didn't think of it like that, but yeah, colorful. And so I was kind of like, oh, this is not at all what I expected, and I'm here for it. I do love 101 Dalmatians. Like that's another one that's in my top 5 Disney animated films. Obviously, it's been done in live action before, and I love what Glenn Close did, but I feel like this is a different take. And as long as it's better than 102 Dalmatians, I'll be good. Get that talking parrot in there. Who thinks it's a Dalmatian. That's part of why I think there was maybe a subconscious ingrained hesitation for this movie was because of 102. Yeah. But and like you said, this picture again, sorry, it's the only one I could really find that's publicly available right now.
Because you said it was at Expo when it was released, I believe, and I
yeah. And I also want to say the guy who plays Horace in that, the big guy on the motorcycle, is from I, Tonya, and he like stole that movie for me, so I'm also excited for him.
Nice. I haven't watched that one yet. I need to, but yeah. So, and I love Emma Stone. Like, I'll say it. Like, I'm really glad she won the Oscar for La La Land.
La La Land.
But
Spider-Man.
So at first, like, you had my attention with that, but then they showed that with like the backdrop with the music of the Who, and all that. And it sounds like you said, it doesn't sound too great on paper, but after that clip, yeah. So hopefully the world can see a trailer soon and get convinced like we did.
Yeah, and I know Disney Publishing is really going all in on this one too. They have a prequel novel for the prequel movie, so you can get excited with that.
Is it a novelization of the prequel movie, or is it?
No. They're doing that too, but this is a prequel to the prequel movie. That like follows Cruella in like her boarding school days leading up to.
Okay, so it's not going to be like the Mufasa. Okay, we need the backstory on this character because she has the Emma Thompson character that she works for. It's not going to be a backstory for her.
I don't think so.
Okay,
I think just like Cruella leading up to this movie.
And I don't think we're going to learn anything about her need for dogs of the spotted nature.
Well, one of the clips they showed though had her like on a stage modeling a coat that was white with black spots.
Okay.
It wasn't the full coat, it was like part of it. So I do think part of this is going to incite her mania for spots and furs.
What was
she lives for them and worships them.
What was Roger's wife's name in 101 Dalmatians?
Anita, darling.
Anita, thank you. That's right. Because she worked for Cruella.
Yes.
So will we see that maybe?
Well, and also, like, one of the plot holes is Cruella looks like she's 1,000 years old, and Anita looks like she's 25, and they were schoolmates.
Oh,
Roger says, "Cruella, you're old."
That's right. Yeah, I forgot about that.
So something happened to her.
Yeah,
hard stuff in the 70s.
Will it be Tim Burton style? We'll find out. She'll fall into a vat of chemicals.
I do think it's funny that 101 Dalmatians was made in the 60s, and it was one of the few Disney animated films of Walt's time that took place in the time it was made. And so it's so 1960s, and then this takes place a decade later.
Another good note. That's my list.
No relation.
Yep.
But yeah, I'm excited for this whole slate. Honestly, I mean, I would say the things I'm least jammed for now are the sports movies. But again, I trust Disney to make really good sports movies that are really great human interest stories. They've never let me down so far. So I'm excited to see what they do.
The way I see the sports movies is I might not be into them now, but when I was younger, like I had the Mighty Ducks. Yep. And now they're Disney, like Rookie of the Year.
We bought the Sandlot.
The Sandlot, yeah. So I might not
the Giants, but
I might not care now. But there's a kid out there who's going to watch these and be like, "That was my movie."
Yeah. So. Well, even like when we were teenagers, Remember the Titans was a big deal. Like it was one of the few Disney movies that like nobody cared that it had the castle in front of it. They were just like, yeah, Remember the Titans, a good movie.
Well, I love that whole trilogy. Clash of the Titans, Wrath of the Titans, Remember the Titans.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah. I don't think I've seen the other ones in the series. But like The Rookie was great. Miracle. Like all of those for me were during high school. And it was cool because like outside of Pirates and National Treasure, like I was the kind of kid and teenager who went to see every Disney movie, even if it was Confessions of a Teenage Drama Queen. And like,
you're the one.
I couldn't admit to people that I had paid money to see that, but like I could be like, hey, you guys want to go see National Treasure? You guys want to go see Game Plan? Like they're like, yeah, I want to see The Rock in a movie.
Game Plan. Gosh, Alex, digging deep.
It's a Disney sports movie.
Yeah.
That one not based on a true story.
Yeah, what I think is fascinating is it seems most of these are based on true stories, if not all of them.
Yeah. Well, The Rookie was, I believe Remember the Titans was, Miracle.
I'm talking about the new ones.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, like, they usually are. Even $1 Million Arm and McFarland USA were based on true stories. Again, I like these movies. I don't.
Yeah,
These are good movies.
Me and my friends play a game where we'll name a cast or a celebrity, an actor, an actress, and then a movie they were in, and then the next person would name the celebrity movie, and just keep going until somebody can't, and then they're out, and we keep going. I feel like you would win with all the sports movies. McFarland USA.
Except that part, I couldn't remember the name of Kenny Ortega, who is a big deal.
He's not in it. So if you said Zac Efron, High School Musical, Vanessa Hudgens, Spring Breakers, sorry, world, and then somebody else from Spring Breakers. Yeah, Selena Gomez. Upcoming Martin Short Hulu show.
Yeah, or what was that one that was a remake of the Lizzie McGuire movie, Monte Carlo?
Yeah. Yeah, see, I'd be out. I don't know anybody else in that.
That really good remake of the Lizzie McGuire movie Monte Carlo, starring Selena Gomez.
You would win with all the sports movies. I think that's what I was getting at with this whole thing. Cool. I'm most excited personally. Go figure for Rescue Rangers, and oddly, Cruella is growing up there, and Sister Act 3.
Gun to my head, I have to pick one. It's Hopo 2.
That's right. I forgot. Just a reminder for anybody who's just joining us. Breaking news. We're calling it Hopo 2 now. The second Hocus Pocus. Hashtag Hopo 2.
Hopo 2.
I really hope that takes off.
It might.
I don't think it will, but I really do want to see Sarah, whose last name just completely flew out of my head.
Parker.
Sarah Jessica Parker, thank you. Sarah Jessica Parker signs on for hashtag Hopo 2. Hitler returning, Hopo 2.
Because in the first movie, they have that one part where she goes, it's just a bunch of hocus pocus. It's the only time they reference the title. And I really hope in this one, they find a way to say, like, it's Hocus Pocus 2, T-O-O, wink, wink, like, have that moment.
So just because you said that, the new Animaniacs episode 3, I believe it is, Gold Medalers. When they do we're just a bunch of gold medalers. Isn't that the title of the sketch? It's the title of the sketch. That's every time.
The moment I fell in love with Arrested Development and decided it's one of my favorite shows of all time early on in its run was when Ron Howard's doing the narration and someone says, like, oh, it's Arrested Development. He goes, hey, that's the name of the show. Just in the narration.
Yeah, they say something about it's a psychological state of we never grow. It's just Arrested Development. Hey. Yeah. That's the name of the show.
And like one of the last episodes, because I was watching it in its original run, again, so off topic, but like at one point, he comes on and he's like, tell your friends about our show. Yeah. I was like laughing so hard, but then crying because I was like, no one will watch it.
Yeah. But yeah, no. So every time somebody says the title in anything, even though that just came out, I still hear, that's the title of the sketch. Title of the sketch.
Hey, that's the name of the show.
Yeah, so it's just a bunch of Hocus Pocus. That's the title of the sketch. That's the title of the sketch. But yeah, so hopefully what do you think she'll do it again in the new one?
I hope so. And again, I hope it comes with a TOO afterwards.
Yep, absolutely. Yep, that's what I was just going to add. Like they're opening a book or something. This is just a bunch of Hocus Pocus 2.
And this, and a little bit of Hocus Pocus 2.
Yeah.
Something like that. Adam Shankman, if you're watching, you're welcome.
Do it. You're welcome. Hire us. NDAs. Well, that's about it for us. I'm glad you joined us for talking about all the live action projects coming to Disney Plus and theatrically from the Walt Disney Studios, and then some, because we did skew
I'm always
off
happy to steer off topic. It's one guarantee when you
it always comes connected in some way to the original topic.
Hashtag it's all connected.
Hashtag Hopo 2.
Hashtag Hopo 2.
Tag it. Remember, tonight we've got a couple more things going on. At 1 o'clock Pacific time, 4 o'clock. Oh my gosh, that's coming up real quick. Marvel time with Mac and Benji. At 5:30 Pacific, we've got Jeremiah and Cole for Theme Park History 101. I believe they're going to look at the 1964-65 World's Fair.
Ooh,
second part, because they did that on the last one, and they were going to do 2 pieces about it. And then you're back with Kyle and Becca for Laughing Place Movie Club, looking at
safety. Like
safety reviews, or
no, if you just search safety review, you won't find any of what you're looking for. You have to search safety movie review. It's titled after the position in football called safety.
So is that what it's about?
It's about a safety.
Is he safe in what he does?
So it's about it's based on a true story. Ray McElrathby, who got a full scholarship to Clemson University, but during his freshman year playing football, his family circumstances, I'll say, led to him having to become the legal guardian of his younger brother.
Well, don't spoil it too much for us.
Safety.
Come to Laughing Place Movie Club tonight, 7:30 Pacific, 10:30 Eastern. Remember to like and subscribe. Thanks for joining us, everybody. We'll see you next time.